Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for November 26, 2014, the day before Thanksgiving, the busiest travel day of the year, and we have a winter storm on the way. We are going to focus specifically on this winter storm for today, not look at the rest of the forecast period, because some rapid changes are developing throughout the region. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking at and what I'll be following on Twitter so you can follow along too. Right now, on the observations I'm getting via Twitter and also via the observations from the National Weather Service, is that the atmosphere is rapidly cooling. I'm getting reports from eastern Pennsylvania, northeastern New Jersey, New York City of temperatures not only rapidly crashing, but the rain already mixing with snow and sleet and changing over to snow and sleet. So what we're dealing with here is a colder environment starting to take hold. And some of the RAP model guidance that I look at, that's basically short-range model guidance, is also trending colder and colder. So we're going to watch this storm as it evolves. It's a very fluid situation and one that has the potential to surprise quite a few people. Make a real good point here. Temperatures this morning at 4 a.m. were 50 degrees along the coast, and now they're in the lower 40s, and they're rapidly falling at a rate of 2 to 4 degrees per hour in some locations. And temperatures already pretty much close to freezing over northeastern Pennsylvania with periods of snow throughout the region. On the surface map, here's our surface low that we're watching as it's lifting north and east around South Carolina, lifting up towards the New Jersey coastal waters by this evening. Here's our polar disturbance that is introducing the cold air and starting to interact with our low pressure system along the coast. On the radar, plenty of moisture to work with this storm, with very heavy precipitation. And what I want to show you are these bands of heavier precipitation. This right here is not heavy rain, it is sleet. Because sleet is denser, it reflects stronger off the radar. It's what we call bright banding, and that's exactly what we're starting to see already over northeastern New Jersey, which basically confirms a lot of the reports I'm getting on Twitter of snow and sleet mixing in already with the rainfall. And you can see some very intense snow bands already setting up over east central Pennsylvania, building back towards Virginia, where I'm getting reports from the National Weather Service of snowfall rates of 2 inches per hour. And that is what I'm concerned about for this evening as this storm starts to wrap up and cold air crashes towards the coast. On the latest satellite picture, take a look at the water vapor satellite picture. Very impressive setup here. We're going to pause this for a second. Sorry about that. And just show you the overall setup here. Polar disturbance diving in. Take a look at the trough, it's going negative. And so as a result, when we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see the result of that strong disturbance diving south here. Very robust disturbance at that, very strong. Interacting with our subtropical disturbance here, with a pressure already down to 1,004 millibars, a little bit stronger than expected. You can see the intense lifting that is developing on the backside of the storm on what we call the formation of the comet head down here. Very impressive lifting developing. We know that because the cloud tops are rapidly cooling here. So all the interactions have come together for this storm to be rather impressive, especially for the interior. But what about along the coast? First, let me show you the forecast here. This area right here is where there's the most volatility in the forecast. Heavy snow over the interior, looking at 8 to 14 inches over portions of northwestern New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley, northeastern Pennsylvania. A little bit closer to the coast, 6 to 10 inches, especially from central Connecticut down through northeastern New Jersey towards Allentown, Reading, Lancaster. Then this is the area, let me zoom in here, where this forecast gets a little bit tricky. Basically from southern Connecticut through the North Shore of Long Island, New York City Metro, central New Jersey, and Philadelphia. Tightly packed accumulation forecast here. We have 3 to 6 inches, just to the south, 2 to 4, and then you go to a trace to 2 inches. So in a span of 50 miles, we go to trace to 6 inches of snow, depending on where this rain snow line sets up and where the best lifting and dynamics all evolve. So this is a very fluid and very volatile storm setup. So this is what I'm going to be watching. First of all, this is 925 millibars. This is just above the surface. And we're going to watch this upper level low and how it interacts with this disturbance and how fast the cold air continues to build into the northern mid-Atlantic. As you can see, down towards the northern mid-Atlantic, those temperatures are starting to rapidly cool. 850 millibars. You can see the winds are coming from the north, 850 millibars. Our cold air is rapidly pushing in. 850 millibar temperatures this morning were plus 5 degrees Celsius. We've fallen 5 degrees Celsius in the span of roughly 4 hours, which is pretty impressive. And that means that our freezing line, our rain snow line, is rapidly crashing towards the coast. So when we take a look at the United States and kind of zoom out here, you can see our 850 millibar low down here along North Carolina. We'll watch the track of this upper level low. The further east it is, the colder this storm will be. Another factor that we have to watch very carefully, a shift east or west of as little as 10 miles will have a major impact on your location. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and you can follow that along on Twitter. And finally, at 700 millibars, a lot of the models have been suggesting a lot of warm air pushing into the region at this level, which would mean that even though it cools at the surface, you end up with more sleet than snow in this type of scenario. So what we're going to watch for is to see exactly how this upper level low develops and whether it shifts northeast or east northeast, which would tell us just how warm that 700 millibar layer will get. As you can see, if you zoom in here, we have some pretty strong winds from the south, but then just over central Pennsylvania, they're coming in from the west. So this line of delineation is very important to watch over the next several hours as that upper level low develops and the lifting develops to see just how warm that layer gets at 700 millibars. So we have a lot to watch over the next couple of hours. This storm is very dynamic, a lot of moving parts, and of course, I'll keep you up to date on the latest information. Thank you for following NYNJPA weather, and as always, stay safe out there.